Cleary Cup, check. Whitelaw Cup, check. The Quinnipiac Bobcats have achieved step 2 of 4 in its 2016 season. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Rebound. I'm Andrew Badillo, and I'm joined alongside Quinnipiac men's ice hockey beat reporter MJ Baird. MJ, how are you?
Great, Andrew. Thanks for having me on today.
MJ, the Bobcats get it done. They defeat Harvard 4-1 in the ECAC championship game, winning its first championship and Whitelaw Cup. MJ, it was a crazy game in the beginning with Harvard sort of taking control of the play, puck possession. What did you see?
Yeah, Andrew, early on in this game, I think it was one of those things. We've seen it a couple times from this Quinnipiac team, more than a couple, to be honest with you. They're not ready for the game. I'm not really sure where that comes from. Rand Pecknold says it a lot after the game. We just weren't ready. But I don't understand how you're not ready for a game. But I think there's a little more of an explanation here. You have the Olympic sheet. You have a really fast Harvard team. They can beat you to the outside before you even blink an eye. And then they got chances on Michael Gartig. So I think that was a little bit a repercussion of the big ice.
Certainly, MJ, Harvard having fast players, Jimmy VC, Alex Kerfoot, Kyle Criscrolo, really giving the Bobcats a trouble early on. And MJ penalty started to take a fold later on in the period. A bad penalty against Harvard. Sam Annis gets boarded into the boards, really shaken up after. Connor Clifton also left the game in the first period. Injuries really took a toll on the Bobcats in this game. Devon Taves also was shaken up. MJ, how did the injuries impact this game? Yeah,
they were huge, Andrew. We'll start in chronological order. The Clifton injury, he kind of initiated a check. They both missed a little bit, had some knee-to-knee contact. He was down for a little bit on the ice, attended to on the bench, and eventually went down the tunnel. But he did come back. Then you have the Annis injury. One of those checks against the boards where you cringe a little bit every time you see it, and we saw it on the replay. Luke Esposito for Harvard takes that boarding penalty. Only a major, 5 minutes, but that major was enough for Quinnipiac to capitalize in the second period. Devon Taves banged up a little bit in the second period. We see him take a slash again from Esposito. He was holding his elbow and forearm area, but the Harvard penalties, really, Quinnipiac was able to capitalize on them. As I said, you come into the second period, Quinnipiac puts up 2 goals on that major penalty, and that really opens the floodgates in the game.
Certainly, MJ. Sam Annis, a huge player on that power play. Connor Clifton, a big player in the ECAC tournament all year, really, for the Bobcats. He had a lot of points in this tournament, but on the power play in its own, Tanner McMaster took Annis' spot. Landon Smith filled that Rover's position. And the Bobcats really just bounced back very nicely coming into the second period. MJ, what did you see with the adjustments on the power play and how they executed?
Rand Pecknold kind of said it after the game. He knows they have 2 good power play units. And although they didn't go completely with the second power play unit, as we said, they moved up Tanner McMaster to fill that void for Sam Annis, that power play really meshed well. Tanner McMaster is a lefty, so playing on the left side or the right side, depending on what side of the picture you're looking at. But he doesn't have that one-timer like Sam Annis does, but he's fast out there. He can move around. They can move pucks. And as I said, the power play unit really meshed well. They put up 2 power play goals within 5 minutes on that major, and it ended up meaning a lot to this team as they got the win.
Speed and spreading out the ice is huge on the Olympic sheet here at Herb Brooks Arena. MJ, the resiliency of this team has been off the charts this year.
Yeah.
And this might have been the greatest example of it in this game. You lose your hottest defenseman, your best offensive player, heading into the second period of a championship game where a team had been dominating you the whole entire period. Your back's against the wall. How important and how incredible was the resiliency of this team? And I use incredible because it truly was incredible.
Andrew, it wasn't one of those typical resilient moves, I guess you will, that we've seen from this Quinnipiac team. A lot of times we've seen them come back from down goal deficits in the third period. But this was a little different, but still along the same lines. As you said, they lose 2 big players on this team, and they head into the locker room. If you're watching this game, you're thinking, what is Quinnipiac going to do to be able to come out in this second period and change the game? Well, I don't know if it was something Sam Annis said to them in the locker room, knowing he wasn't going to come back, or what it was. But this team came out in the second period firing. They knew they had to capitalize on that 5-minute major. And Soren Janssen said it in the post-game press conference. He said, knowing we had that going into the first was crucial, because we know our power play is so good that we can score. And that's exactly what they did.
Also to note, Michael Gartig did have a fantastic game for the Bobcats. He really stopped the Crimson in that first period. He made 10 saves. Harvard was all over Quinnipiac. Quinnipiac couldn't break out of their own zone, and he really held the fort down, kept Quinnipiac in that game. They exploded in the second period.
Yeah, Gartig, he kind of bailed Quinnipiac out in the first 5-7 minutes or so of the game. I don't even know if Quinnipiac had offensive zone possession. until the 10-minute mark of the first period. And even that, the entire first period, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't have the exact stats, but if they had maybe 2-3 minutes offensive zone possession. So Gartig was huge in keeping this team in the game from the get-go.
Quinnipiac takes the auto bid into the NCAA tournament. The selection show is tomorrow. For now, they win their first Whitelaw Cup and ECAC championship. For more information, visit our website at www.q30television.com and also follow us on social media at Q30 Sports. For MJ Baird, Kyle Lavasser, and Victoria Rutigliano, I'm Andrew Badillo. Have a good one.